How's it going, you guys? It's Scott with Everyday Shed, and today I'm going to walk you through the complete process to frame up and level your floor. Even if you have quite a bit of slope like we have here, this is an approachable project, but we find that many DIY homeowners make mistakes at this stage, and then it just makes the rest of their shed build that much harder, and the end result not what you're looking for.
So we'll kick things off by just setting the perimeter of the floor up. We're using two 12-foot boards and then two boards cut to 117 inches, and that's going to give us a perfect 10 by 12 rectangle. And then this will be our ability to set up our footprint of the shed exactly where we want it on our yard and start to level everything out when it comes to the floors. Now we're setting 3 screws per corner to secure this up. And sometimes if you have a sloping yard like this, you might have to prop one end up. So it makes it easier lining up your top surfaces and then also your side surfaces to get your screws sunk into place and your board securely fastened together. Then at this point, just with a helping hand, you can kind of move around your perimeter here for the final resting location for your shed and where you want it set. Then with a bubble level on your long 12-foot board here and an extra set of hands to lift things up, you can get an estimate of how much you're going to have to build up to level everything out. Then moving on to each of our 4 corners, make sure you have all of the grass or organics and topsoil removed. And you want to get down to something like Georgia red clay here or something stable, and then add some paver base or CA6 on top, which is a mix of 3/4 inch gravel, some smaller aggregate and fines, and makes for something that compacts well to a nice stable footing for your concrete blocks. Once you have enough CA6 or paver base in place, use a hand tamper and start to tamp that down. And what you want to make is the level in both directions. This will take a little time because once you set your blocks, you don't want them leaning in either direction. So you'll just start working, trimming things down, compacting a little bit more with your hand tamper, adding some more aggregate, and just going back and forth on each of your 4 corners. We're going to have a total of 6 locations with concrete blocks. We're using 4 by 8 by 6 concrete blocks, but just know there's also 2 by 8 by 6 concrete blocks, which will give you a little bit more adjustability, and we'll dive deeper in how to kind of shim up to the last 1/4 of an inch or so, making everything level, because this can stretch out to multiple hours or even days where we want to make sure our floor is perfectly stable and level, because if we do not do this at this stage, when you start putting your walls up, they're not going to be plumb, and it just makes your overall build much longer. So put the effort in here, make sure it's done right, check multiple times with your 4-foot bubble level, and make sure everything is nice and level.
So take your time getting to this point, but what you want to do is have each of your corners set where everything is level. So we have the perimeter of our floor now perfectly level. We have our highest point is going to have our smallest block. That is a 2 by 8 by 16 concrete block. Now we're showing over at this corner, we have a 4 by 8 by 16, and then using 1 2 by 6 to prop it up to level everything out. 3 4 by 8 by 16s on this corner, and then actually in this back corner we used a little hack that works nicely when you have to shim slightly, where we're able to use shingles and sandwich those between 2 4 by 8 by 16 concrete blocks to get our floor perfectly level. At the same time, you need to measure your diagonals. This is where we want to confirm that our floor is a perfect rectangle with right triangles at each of our corners before we set the last 2 support locations, secure our floor joists, and then start installing the floor decking.
Now Carlos will go in and he'll again put down CA6 or that paver base and tamp it down, getting everything level in the 2 directions, and then start building up. It'll take a little planning here because we're just looking to get these blocks or these supports snug with our perimeter board here, and that's going to take a little shimming back and forth, and this is where the shingles and small adjustments are going to be your friend. And then you'll go back through and make his layout with just 16 inch on center for each of the 2 by 6s, and
you'll see lines and X's, which are super common in framing for walls and also your floors. What that shows is it's 16 inch on center. So if we took our 2 by 6 board here, you're not actually going to put that line in the middle because you're never going to be accurate lining up to the middle of your board. So the line is actually the edge of your board, and the X shows you what side of the line your board is going to be located, and that's how we're going to secure our floor joint.
So let's bring together the rest of the floor frame here with our 8 additional 2 by 6 pressure treated boards cut to length. And then Carlos and I will team up here to secure each of those, sinking the first screw in and then plumbing things up. Now, sometimes the pressure treated can be torqued a little bit where you gotta use a hammer or a pry bar, sink a screw, and kind of adjust that before drilling in your screws to hold everything both straight at the top surface so it's nice and flush. So I usually sink one screw like this, getting my top surface set, and then I make sure it's perfectly up and down or plumb, sinking my second two screws in. Now, once you have your frame together, we'll go ahead and take a chalk line marking 48 inches and 96 inches. This comes in handy because it gives you a chalk line on your floor joist to line up your 3/8 tongue and groove OSB for your floor.
And I want to call out, when you have your floor framing, just the 2x6s, you don't have your floor decking on yet, it's a perfect time to anchor your shed, whether that's called out in local code or you're just trying to protect your investment. Now you scan this QR code or you'll see a link in the description and that will take you over to our shed anchoring kit. It comes with 4 different anchors and 8-foot worth of aircraft cable, in addition to what's called a gripple wire connector. What that does is it's flexible for different situations. Whether you're just trying to anchor your floor structure like 2x6 pressure treated wood, which we have here, or you have skids, it's gonna work for either one of those, and you just loop it around, tighten it down, and it'll fit different heights that you are off the ground. We specifically designed it so it would be flexible and you don't have to get different sizes to meet different needs. And then driving the anchors in the ground is simple with just a 48-inch piece of rebar that you can pick up at any home improvement store. So make sure you're securing your floors. It's a perfect time to do it. So let's jump back in and get this floor put together.
There is the first sheet here, and you'll see we line that up right on the chalk line, and also the end of the 8-foot sections right in the middle of the floor joist. That's what you want to see, because then you can secure your two sides like this 4x4 sheet we're bringing in here that fills out our 12-foot side in the first row of our floor. Now we're just putting a few screws in while we get everything lined up, and we'll line up the tongue and groove from the first and second row, staggering our seams, and then that last row is just going to be 2 foot or 24 inches. So you're going to rip down your last sheet. That's a full 8-foot sheet there, and then you just piece in a last 4 foot by 2 foot sheet. Now it's nice to have a little story stick like this that shows you 6 inches and 12 inches. Why is that? Because now we have to fully secure down our floor. Do not take this as a shortcut, as this is going to take some time fully securing things down. You're going to go every 6 inches on the edge and then 12 inches in the middle of your sheets of OSB. And that's called out by the manufacturing, making sure everything is going to come together and you'll have a solid floor. You'll start off with the story stick referencing, and then you just kind of reference the row behind you, spacing every 6 inches and 12 inches, depending on where you're at in the sheet. And this portion of the floor alone is going to take about 200 screws. And remember, we're securing into pressure treated, so it's critical that you have the right coating on these screws.
So let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comments. And now you're at a secure level floor, but if it's anything like ours and kind of built off the ground quite a bit, there's a few things you're going to be facing. One, how the heck do I get my mower in and out of my shed? So you're gonna need some type of ramp. You can check out this video right here where we're doing multiple different tests and showing different levels that you're building up so you can match that to your own application with our DIY ramp kit, which has helped hundreds and hundreds of homeowners build a ramp without any complex math or complex angles. And also, if it's called out in local code or you just want a little insurance to make sure this floor stays on the ground, you can check out this video right here and we'll show you our DIY anchoring kit where you can secure each one of the corners and have peace of mind that this is going to stay put for the long haul. So thanks for joining me on this video, and we'll catch you on one of those next ones. Take care.